Hey everybody, welcome to a unprompted live episode of the game show. I'm Fred Y. Hey, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. And even before I start, let me just make sure that y'all can hear me, and I think you can. Now, I'm simulcasting on YouTube and on Facebook. So, first, let me start off by saying that I don't watch TV on the regular, right? There has to be something very good on TV for me to watch. That's why I watch a lot of YouTube videos. And some of the YouTube videos that I watch are now due to like a lot of political stuff. I watch a lot of Transformers stuff just to get an idea of some of the show topics that Mike and I can talk about. And one of my favorite people to watch, because he tells the truth, he tells it like it is Roland Martin. So if anybody out there knows Roland Martin, can somebody please, I'm begging you, can you please have him to watch this video? This video is again, unprompted video. And like I said in the bio of the comment, these are just, it's something that I think. These are not facts. But I've been watching a lot of videos, and I'm just piecing things together. And again, Roland Martin has a good team for him to fact check the stuff that I'm saying. And maybe there's some truth to it. This is just my opinion. And I think, as the title said, I think I have uncovered Trump's plan to bring back slavery. Okay. Well, let me just say, slavery has never been deleted from America. Slavery is still going on as we speak. And that's due to the jail system, because there are a lot of prison inmates that are basically plantation workers. That's basically what they are. When they got rid of slavery, they incorporated the jail system. And they had people picking cotton and tobacco and all the other stuff. The reason why I think that this is Trump's plan to bring back slavery is because of the farmer situation. Now, before I get into this topic, I'm going to talk in a tone where people can take this video seriously. As I said before, I know I do a lot of joking on here, and I make a lot of puns and stuff like that, but I want to speak in a tone so not only you can hear what I say, but you can also listen to it as well. So let's start off with Nebraska farmers. As of right now, there's an episode that's coming out Friday. I want y'all to watch that. But as of right now, 6 months into the future, they're saying that the farmers in Nebraska are going to be bankrupt. They're going out of business. And Nebraska is a state that highly voted for Trump. And now they're finding out what Roland Martin and other people been trying to tell y'all who voted for him about the actions that he was going to take if he indeed got back into office. He got back into office somehow. And now he's going through, him and JD Vance and Elon Musk, they're going through these plans to just eradicate what black folks did to help this country. And let me say this before I even start talking about it. Those of you who have been fired by this Doge move, I think you have a case, because you have Elon Musk doing all these firings, and he has not even been appointed by Congress, so he doesn't have the power to do so. He doesn't have the power to do what he's doing. And then the White House press, they said that he's not in charge of Doge, but they don't want to give out the name of the person who is. I mean, come on, man. We all know, I mean, it's right in front of your face. So you can't see that. So I don't know what to tell you, man, but I think y'all have a good lawsuit. 4 years from now, you people that have been fired by Elon Musk and what he's doing, I think you have a big lawsuit. I don't think you're gonna be able to do anything right now, but 4 years from now, I think your pockets will be looking very lovely. So getting back to the topic of this impromptu episode. What I think this is going to happen, since he's getting away with a lot of people from the federal government and the judicial system and stuff like that, and trying to give police the power to punish without being punished. He's allowing police to be the judge and the executioner all at once without any type of repercussions. What I think is going to happen is that they're going to start having minimal unjailable, minimal time offenses turned into heavy felonies. And what's going to happen is that once you get incarcerated, they're going to make you do free manual labor, like the farming and stuff like that. They're going to make you go out there and pick those crops for all these farmers who hired these immigrants who were willing to go out there and work a 9 to 5 for $5 an hour, or maybe even less than that at some time. He's going to start locking people up, putting them in prisons, and putting them out in these fields to work or to do all type of free labor. Now, from some of the stuff that I heard in the news is that he's also planning to sell people that's in prison to work for other countries to pay off their debt for free labors. So you have to look into that. And the reason why I'm doing this episode today is because of that's something that came across my feed when I was watching YouTube videos today. So I think that he's going to incorporate prison time with slavery. Okay, so especially you African American people that's in Nebraska, the middle class people, the poor people, I think y'all are going to be trapped into working these fields for free. Because let's face it, the backbone of any civilization is to be able to have enough energy to produce body energy, to produce anything. You have to have, not only you have to have rest, adequate rest, but you also have to have substance, right? You have to have meals. You have to eat. And how do you get food? Majority of the food, you get it from these farmers. You get meat products. You get vegetable products. You know, even organic stuff comes from farmers. Processed foods are made at plant. You know what I'm saying? Like fake crab meat. Fake crab meat is not harvested. No, they don't have fishermen that bring in fake crab meat from the ocean. That's chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets. There's not 1 ounce of chicken inside of chicken nuggets. So all this stuff is made as in the plant. So that's just a theory of mine, and it's a kind of like a sneaky suspicion of them incorporating incarceration into slavery. Because once you go in jail, your rights are basically gone. You have no rights. So you have to do what they tell you to do. And once you're in jail, once you're behind them prison walls, you hit state. There's nothing that can save you from being shipped off to another country or another state to work labor. You know what I'm saying? Just like when y'all riding down the roads and you see the guys in the orange vests picking up trash and stuff like that, that's labor for the state. They don't have to pay, the county workers the big money to go up there and take the trash off the roads. The detention center inmates do that. So that's saving them a lot of costs. And that's cleaning up the city for pennies on what they're even paying. It's work release. I don't know if they get paid for that. I know in prison, if you do stuff like that, you get paid like 12 cents an hour or 5 cents an hour or something like that. And that's all time slavery. But, it is what it is. But with this, my theory is what I'm saying. They're going to incorporate prison time with slavery. Now, if you get caught up doing something that may have got you like a slap on the wrist or 6 months, and this is especially for black people. Now, if you get jammed up in any type of situation, they can throw the book on you and it's not going to be looked at. You can do the rallies, you can do the speeches and all that other stuff. That's not going to bring you out of that jail. Unless the judge intervenes before that. But I got a sneaky suspicion that this is what's going to happen. And sorry that I'm all over the place. This video is not structured any type of way. It's just I had a thought in my mind and I went live. You know what I'm saying? So I think y'all want to look into that. Especially with this selling off inmates to other countries to work off debt, or to other states to work off debt. But I think that's the way that it's going, man. I think this is the beginning of Mad Max. I think what the government is doing, as far as they, causing all the government, Trump's administration causing all this turmoil with different nations, with Canada and stuff like that. There's going to be something. Just look out in the next 6 months before December hits, right? Or 6 months is more. December is more than 6 months, but when December hits, I want to see how resilient these people are. these lower end class, in income and class, these lower class, however you say it, I'm gonna see how they fare this storm, because it's not just the lower class getting hit with this; it's some of the upper class too. Some of the federal workers that have been released that voted for Trump. Some of the people that were in government, high-ranking people that were in government that have been released, fired, or brought out. It's just it just boggles my mind how, again, people like Roland Martin, if you ever watched any of his shows, if you go back to a couple of his shows that he did before Trump got back into office, he was telling y'all about Project 25 and things like that. Now, myself, I have not read anything. I have not read one page of Project 25. I'm listening to what people like Roland Martin and his shows are saying about it. Now, I'm going off on that. And what they were saying about what was in that Project 25, all the stuff that they were saying, this stuff is coming true. So they had a big playbook before Trump took that office again. And I say took. He took that office. I honestly don't believe he won. It was just too much momentum going on with Harris for him to win that. And I don't believe that. But we're in for a doozy, man. We are in for a doozy. And it's all because of, people didn't want people did not want Harris in that office, or a black woman, or another black person in that office. They thought that she would not be able to run this country. Now, do I agree with Kamala Harris? I don't agree with all her policies. I don't even like Joe Biden. But she was the lesser of the evil. She was the lesser of the two evil. And you would vote for that. If you didn't want things to go back to Jim Crow, and just look at everything that he's doing. Look at there are words that they took out of the military, like black. And there was some other words. Y'all look that up. There are now words that are illegal to say in the military. Racist is one of the words too. Racism and black, you can no longer say in the military. How about that? Let's look at them getting rid of teaching black history. Now, as I said before, Black History Month to me is a joke. Black History Month to me has always been a joke, because how are you going to relegate history of black people to the shortest month out the year? And it's not even a month, because kids don't go to school Saturday and Sunday. So that's 24 hours a day that's subtracted from the equation. When kids go to school, they don't learn Black History Month that whole day, especially in high school. Now, when I was in high school and when I was in elementary school, Black History Month was just taught by Willing in the big TV with the VCR and playing Roots, or Willing in the projector, lowering down the screen, turning off the lights, and watching Roots. There was nothing taught about Black History Month. And if they were lazy about it then, I can imagine how they are now in high school. And now they just completely did away with Black History Month. And now I'm finding out, now I don't know if this is true or not, that slaves were eating. They were being eating. Yes, I said it. Look it up. This is what's going on around the internet now. They're saying slaves were eating. They were consumed as a meal. They were saying, and this is true, they were saying that the lynching and the burning of slaves were like a spectacle. It was like going to the movies, hanging and lynchings and stuff like that. It was a source of entertainment. And there's also a whole shipload of slaves were thrown overboard. I forget what Spanish ship that was, but they were thrown overboard. And, if you're speaking about Black history, Alex Haley was probably like the luckiest man alive to trace his roots. But the reason why Black history has so many holes in it is because of our ancestors were, raped, killed, lynched, dropped off in the middle of the sea. So we don't have our whole history facts. Because there are so many potholes in Black History Month. You can't retrace some of your kin due to that. And everybody has been separated. Back in the day, they took slaves from one plantation, put them on another plantation. They didn't keep any major records of that. And then when slavery was over, I guarantee you there were cousins or, just relatives that were put together as a couple and not even know it. It might be going on to this very day. There may be some people in America that even may be married to somebody that they're kin to, and they don't even know it. I know you do a blood and a DNA test, but that over periods of hundreds of years, that could change. This is just a theory of mine. But I could be wrong. That's why hopefully if Roland Martin see this, he can decipher my not lined up show, because it's all over the place. Because like I said, this is something that I just thought of real quick, and I just wanted to go live just to get it out off my chest. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this. This is just something I wanted to get off my mind. Please download this if you can. If you don't know how to download Facebook videos or YouTube videos, just look it up. Somebody download this, save it, because if it gets deleted and I'm right, they could say, hey, remember that little black dude? That black dude from the game show, I think. He said this. He said it will happen. I'm telling you, he has a master plan that we're just not seeing. Now, Trump, everybody thinks Trump is dumb. He's not dumb. He is not dumb. This is a smokescreen for what he's doing. His first smokescreen worked a little bit because we was all up in arms about Snoop and Nelly and Soulja Boy performing Rick Ross at this crypto event, right? That was just a smokescreen. That was just a diversion to get you from realizing what he was trying to do in his first couple of weeks or first couple of days being back in that office. And we took the bait. We took the bait. He did a lot of sneaky stuff. When was the last time? Well, not everybody, but when was the last time you have seen Trump been so supportive of black people? Okay. This is how you know that it was a smokescreen. Soulja Boy. So he got Soulja Boy to perform. When was Soulja Boy ever relevant? Since the U. Soulja Boy is cookout dozen crab famous. That's all he is. He's cookout famous. You know what I mean? Like every black cookout that you go to, you may hear the Superman song. And that's the last time that you'll hear it while you're eating some crabs. Soulja Boy is black cookout dozen crab famous. I said it. That's what Soulja Boy is. Snoop, you know, he got Death Row back. Rick Ross. When was the last time you heard a hit from Rick Ross or Snoop? Nelly. When was the last time you heard a hit from Nelly, Snoop, or Rick Ross? So somebody that thought of that bright idea grew up, was a 70s baby that thought it would be relevant to bring him back. They didn't know anything about black culture because they wouldn't have sort them out. They wouldn't have sucked them out. Or I'm sorry, you know what I'm trying to say. They wouldn't have tried to get them out because those four clowns do not represent the black culture. They should have tried to get somebody that was more relevant than some dudes from the 90s or the early 2000s. So that was nothing but a smokescreen for his plan. And it somehow worked. I'm telling you, man, just look out. Just keep your eyes open. Please keep your eyes open and keep your ears to the ground, man, because there is a major plan that he's doing that's going to affect not only black people, it's going to affect poor white people and then white people in general. If you're not rich, he don't care about you. If you're a billionaire, that's the only people that he cares about. So, in closing, right? Just look out for what he's about to do. And I think with these farmers losing their farms, not having the immigrants to pull their crops, they're going to have somebody to do that. And who's going to go out there and work for $5 an hour? Now, I'm not saying this to be funny, and I know I said it's about to go. I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm saying this is actual facts. When you talk about a lot of, not all, but some Latino Mexican people, when you talk about them, they pull their money together. You may have like 20 families in the house, and everybody's pulling their weight. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to make that much to pay that bill, that light bill, the water, or that rent. You may have enough people. If your rent is now what, $1,200, you get enough families in there, you're paying less than like $300 for a big house. And I tell you that this is factual because when I used to do cable, I went to this one house, and I forget what part of Maryland it is, but y'all know where Land of Them All is. And if you keep going straight, like you're going to DC, not like you're going to Upper Marlboro, but like you're going to DC, there is, after you pass like Kitland and Dodge Plaza and all that other stuff, there is a playhouse that's on the left-hand side, right? I forget what that side of town is called, but if you go to that light, you can go up to New Carrollton, right? If you make a right at that light, you go to New Carrollton. If you keep straight, you're going to DC. You're going to pass a pawn shop that's on your right-hand side. I'm talking about the light where where like there's a playhouse or something like that. But anyway, I was doing cable, and there's a right turn that you make before you go to that light, and it's a steep uphill. I went to install cable at this house, and the house, it was a nice big house, but as soon as you walked in, all of it was sectioned off. Like the living room was sectioned off. You know, they had like curtains to make different rooms. You had like maybe 4 rooms in the living room, and then they had a back room, and that was cut up into 3, right? Just 3 different shades separating each living space. And the only thing that wasn't sectioned off was the kitchen. So when I went in there to install the cable box, I'm looking at all this stuff. I'm going in, I'm taking my equipment, and I was like, okay, where do you want me to put the cable box? He was like, well, put it in my room. And we walked to the back, and then I'm thinking, okay, he has his room in the back or whatever. There are 3, it's sectioned off in 3 big TVs, and these are the CRT TVs. They didn't have the flat screen TVs at this time. They had the big tube TVs, and his was the room, the section that was far to the right. And I'm thinking to myself, they got what? You know what I'm saying? And half of them wasn't home, and I'm assuming they were at work. And a lot of people make this puns and about all this stuff, but that is true. That is a true thing. And a lot of Latino people, they rent a house and they have it sectioned off, and you have many families in there. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's really smart. That's really smart, because if you can afford to live in the house at that time, I don't think the rent was over $1,000, right? But if you have like 5 or 6 families living in the house and everybody works, the wife and the husband, you're not paying anything for mortgage or rent, or you know what I'm saying? You're not hardly paying anything for rent. The electric bill, the cable bill, you're paying pennies on that. Okay? So I say that to say that black people are not going to do that. Black people are not going to rent a house. Even if you do rent a house and all of y'all live in it, y'all not going to get together. If you have a 3-bedroom house, you may have 3 families living in there, right? It's not like you're going to have each room section. And the house that I was talking about was a rancher, so it was a, 1 level. But you're not going to have the bedroom divided, each bedroom divided into 2 or 3 sections, and you making $5 an hour. You're going to have to roommate with somebody, or there's no way that you can live off of $5 an hour. There's no way that you can live off of $5 an hour. This is not the 90s. I can remember in high school, I was working at McDonald's getting paid $5.75 an hour. Every 2 weeks, bringing home like $200 and some odd dollars. Who can survive on that? That's not even enough to pay your rent or your mortgage in a month. With taxes being taken out too, that's not enough. So who are the Nebraskans going to get to make to plow their farms, to pick their crops? Who are they going to get to do that to make $5 an hour? Okay, because the farmers are going to get all of the money when they sell their crops off. They get their lump load of money and then they're good. Meanwhile, the people that's out there farming their crops, they're getting paid pennies. Or why don't we have a solution where we incarcerate a whole lot of poor people and then make them go out there and work those crops and you know, pick them crops and stuff like that. And you have to look at it like this. When the plan is going to be, I think, that when you're tanking the economy, people do what they got to do to survive. They're going to do what they have to do to survive. If you can't afford to feed your family, what is the end result? The end result is either to steal food, rob somebody for money to buy the food, steal tangible goods to sell to get the money to buy food. When you're broke and you don't have any money and you're hungry, are you going to walk inside of Target or Walmart? Are you going to steal a PlayStation 5 or are you going to steal some bread? Are you going to steal a PlayStation 5 controller or are you going to steal some meat? We don't have to be fancy with the cheese and the mayonnaise or the mustard or whatever you put on your sandwich. Are you going to steal a game or are you going to steal some peanut butter and jelly? Do you get what I'm saying? When he tanks this economy and people are broke, the poor is not going to rob the poor, because what am I going to rob the poor for? The poor don't have anything. So I'm going to have to rob the rich, or I'm going to have to steal from the store that has what I need. Now, you may have some people that go in there and steal the PlayStation 5 so they can sell it, but who are they going to sell it to? Who are you going to sell a PlayStation 5 to if you're living in a community that don't have any money? And you have a family to feed? You're not going to go out there and steal a PlayStation 5. You're going to go out there and steal the food. And then what happens? When you get caught, you get incarcerated. Okay, first strike, you may get probation. Second strike, whatever. Third strike, you're going to be in those fields picking that crop that the Nebraskans can't pick, or they won't pick themselves. White people are not going to go out there and pick that stuff out for $5 an hour. You're not going to get a white person there to go out there and pick them crops for $5 an hour. There's no way. You're not even going to get a black person to get out there and pick crops for $5 an hour. You can't live off of that. You can't live off of $5 an hour or less. So what's the end result? The end result is you going out committing crimes in order to get money to eat. Every day you need to eat. You don't need to play Resident Evil every day. You don't need to play Destiny every day. You don't need to play Moon Patrol every day. But you need to eat. So this is why I think that his plan is to incarcerate the middle class, the very poor people, and put them out in these fields to pick these crops so the rich people can eat. My thing is, if you want to make everybody poor, how are they going to afford to buy the luxury stuff? And heed what I say. Please heed what I say. Black dollars run this country. We run this country. Our dollars run America. Black dollars run America. Let me say that again. Black dollars run America. If you're alone by yourself and you're not ashamed to say it, look at your neighbor if you're sitting next to somebody and say, black dollars run America. I'll give you a second. Okay. Say it again. Black dollars run America. You know why black dollars run America? And white dollars don't? Of course, the white dollars can buy the mansions and the fancy cars. But white dollars always buy what's needed. You need food. You don't need fancy food. You don't need caviar. You need enough food to get your bellies full. You need some Fruit of the Looms if you want an undershirt. You need Fruit of the Looms if you don't want to walk around in commando style. You need a nice shirt to wear when you go out to an event. You need that. Black dollars buy what they want. I want a PlayStation 5. I want a big 75-inch LCD TV. I want a 3D printer. I want a 4K camera. I want a BMW. I want a Bugatti. That's how America economy works. Because they're not worried about the stuff that people need. Because you're going to have to get it anyway. There's no way that you can survive off of air. You need food. You need clothing. You don't need expensive clothing, but you need clothing. But you want that PlayStation 5. You want these Transformers. That's what you want. I want these. I don't need them. I don't need none of that stuff. I don't need these arcade systems that you see behind me. All these arcade systems that you see behind me, I already have them. This is just an easier way to play them individually. When the company comes over to the house, excuse the mess though, but when company comes over to the house, and I want to entertain, they can play the video games. They can play the arcade systems. They can play the VR systems. I don't need that. I don't need the big screen TVs. I don't need none of that stuff. You know what? I could do fine with a small 7-inch black and white TV. I don't need an iPhone every year. I don't need the new iPhone every year. Guess what? I can do better with my flip phone. I don't need the smartphone. I got tablets. When I'm out the house, 9 times out of 10, I'm working. So I don't have the luxury of looking at Facebook or looking at TikTok and all this other stuff because I'm out there trying to bust my hump to pay this mortgage. So I don't need a smartphone distracting me while I'm driving, or I don't need a smartphone to distract me while I'm working. That's the stuff that I don't need. That's the stuff that I want. And that's why the black dollar counts. Because we want this. We want that. We want all this stuff. So if you take away the ability to get the stuff that we want, like deleting jobs, not giving a fair opportunity for us to rise up in the company, not treating us equal. Some of us reverse to the theory of I'll take it by any means necessary. That means I will go out here, I will steal it from you, I'll carjack it from you, I'll manipulate you, I'll scam you to get what I want. Not what I need. But there's a flip side to that. When that happens, then your wants turn into actual needs. And some of the things that you want is cut from your list. You don't want the PlayStation. I don't want the Bumblebee no more. I don't want another version of Bumblebee. I'll take the Bumblebee tuna salad so I can make me a sandwich so I can eat. Because there's no way I can fry this up. There's no way I can flour this thing up and fry it and eat it. I mean, I can taste it. I can smell it. I can lick it if I want to, but that's not going to get me full. This is not going to get me full. I can't eat this. So when you take away the ability to let me afford to get the stuff that I want, then I have to resort to doing what I need to do. And what's that's going to land me into? That's going to land me into hot water. That's going to land me into the court system. That's going to land me into incarceration. Then that's going to land me into saying, okay, he has no more rights. Put him in the fields and have him to pick these potatoes, these cherries, these cranberries. Put them in the field. Oh, we don't have to pay. We don't even have to pay them. If we do pay them, we'll pay them, 2 cents an hour. So I'm telling you, I think this is his ultimate plan. From the stuff that I heard this morning about inmates being sold to different countries to work off debt or to just work to do the things that these immigrants did, and now you got rid of them. Now nobody's willing to come to your fields and work for $5 an hour, $4.50 an hour, not even $6 an hour. You to go out and work those crops, you're going to have to be paid at least $30, $40, $50 an hour to pull them crops. And what farmer do you know that's going to pay 100 to 200 employees to go out there and pick those crops for $50 an hour? If you said $50 an hour to go work in Nebraska to pick cotton, guess who will be the first person there? Barefoot and all. I'll be out there with the goat, and I'll be out there picking that stuff like you wouldn't never believe. But that's not going to happen. And the other thing that I forgot to mention was ICE. What ICE is doing. Let me tell you how stupid ICE is. ICE is now trying to deport Native Americans. Right hand, they are trying to deport Native Americans. Where are you going to deport them to? Nevada? You going to put them all on one plantation at an Indian casino? That's where you deporting them to? This is what you do, ICE. Deport yourself. Because as we all know, that Native Americans are the sole, only true Americans. Not us blacks, not you white people, not the Mexicans, not the Chinese people. Native Americans are the only true Americans in America. That's it. So, I'm really going to end this. All right. Wow, that was a lot. All I can tell y'all is, please, again, if anybody knows Roland Martin, please have him to look at this video and see if I have said, he doesn't have to watch it. Get his research team to watch it, and then they can break it down and snip it to the points that they deem more valuable than others, right? Because, again, I'm sorry, I was all over the place. This was an impromptu video. But please get this to Roland Martin so he can check it out. Because that brother, he is biblical. He is biblical. He is on point off everything that he does. His research team is top notch. Himself, he does the research himself also. He is top notch. Roland Martin is on top of things, man. I'm trying to tell you. And if you don't know who Roland Martin is, please check him out on YouTube. Please check Roland Martin out on YouTube. And please pass this. Please get into somebody that knows Roland Martin. Even if you know a person that knows a person that knows a person that knows Roland Martin, even if he doesn't watch this episode, some of the talking points that I've said, please get it out to him somehow. And, have him to mention Fred Wire, MikeC from the Game Show. But yeah, please get him to see if I'm lying about anything that I'm saying. Again, this is just a theory of mine, but it might come true from everything I'm seeing on the internet now, all the stuff that I heard, especially the things that I heard this morning. I think we're in for a mass deporting of everybody who's not rich. Okay? So, if you are low on the totem pole, if you are a person that works at McDonald's, if you're a manager at CVS or Costco's, you're in the same tax bracket as I am, man. And he is just going to try to, especially if you have priors or when you were younger and you were in the court system as I was, he's going to try to find a way to offset all this stuff that he's doing, especially with these farmers. These farmers that voted for Trump, that's now seeing the repercussions of their decision. You don't have the laborers to go out there and pick your crop. Who are you going to get to pick your crop for $5 an hour now? Nobody. You're not going to get anybody to pick your crop for $5 an hour. It's going to have to be somebody that's incarcerated that doesn't have any rights, that don't have any say-so. And they're going to be the ones out there. Not only in Nebraska, but in other states that have farms, or in other states that have jobs that just people, I'm not going to say black or white, I'm just saying people will not do for the amount of money that they're getting paid for. You cannot live your life off of $5 an hour. You cannot live your life off of $200 every 2 weeks. You can't. Unless you are roommating with at least 10 people, that's 10. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's at least $2,000 coming in that house. With $100 to spend, that's 20 people. Because, no, that's 5 people. 5 people is $1,000 for $5 an hour. So that's only $500. 10 people, that's $1,000. You know? Or if you give up 150 every 2 weeks. Yeah. Then you can afford to pay your mortgage. But you're living with 10 people. You're living with 10 people. Do the math. $200 every 2 weeks. $400 a month. Who is going to be able to live off of that? No time for recreation. You can forget getting 3 wings and rice every Friday because you don't feel like cooking. Or 4 wings and rice. Trips. Oh, you can forget that. Let's see how packed King's Dominion and Wild World. Oh, I'm sorry, my age. Whatever Wild World is called now. Let's see how many Six Flags. Wow, really showing my age. Let's see how packed Six Flags and King's Dominion is this summer. Let's see how packed it is. People that can afford to go to King's Dominion and Six Flags this summer, I guarantee you there won't be a long waiting line to ride any roller coaster. I guarantee you. Matter of fact, the Gamer Show wants to plan a field trip to King's Dominion. Anybody want to go? Anybody want to set out and go? It's going to have to be a Sunday. We can set or get together and go out there to King's Dominion and see in the summertime, see how many rides we can get on. If we can do it. Matter of fact, the Gamer Show is going to do a live stream from King's Dominion. We're going to do a live stream from King's Dominion just to see how the economy is going. Okay. So that's going to be in the summertime. We're going to make an announcement for it in one of our shows probably next week or the week after next. But we're going to do a King's Dominion field trip. And the only reason why we're going to do that is we're just going to see how long it takes to get on the roller coasters now with this economy. Okay? So I'm inviting anybody who's watching that lives in the DMV, again, that will be another separate episode. You can sign up for it. It ain't gonna cost you nothing, but you just buy your own ticket, and we all meet at one place, and we all just fellowship together and just talk and live stream this thing. So I'll come up with a good name for it, and we'll do it. But that's about it. I gotta go take care of my dogs. Thank you everybody for watching who watched on YouTube and Facebook. I see some people commented. Sorry I didn't catch your comment. What's up, Bird? Thanks for watching. You mentioned something about Black History. I can't see that from over there. But y'all, thanks for watching. And please share this video. If you know Roland Martin, please get him on top of this. All right, y'all.